Hey, welcome to iFlip for Math, Mathcast, Lesson 7-2, Multiplying a Decimal Number by a Whole Number. This is one of my very favorite lessons, and I think you'll really like it too. Our quote today is by Princess Dot. Every princess needs a handsome frog to leapfrog on over and save the day. And there's a picture of Princess Dot and her handsome frog. Our learning goal is use the Princess Dot strategy to multiply a decimal by a whole number. So here is our individual lesson learning goals. Multiply the numbers just as you would multiply whole numbers. Pretend there's no decimal there at all. Just ignore it. Don't cross it out. Leave it there, but just ignore it while you're multiplying. Then use the Princess Dot strategy to know how many places to move the decimal to the left in the product. Then check, check, check your work using the digital root checking strategy. We'll also use some estimation just to make sure we've got our decimal in the correct place. Here's our vocabulary, and I didn't put it on automatically because I didn't want you to pause it and start writing until you'd listen to me. You don't have to write this in your journal. This is just to help you set up the lesson. Our vocabulary today is Princess Dot. In this story, Princess Dot will be represented by a decimal. Leapfrog. That's a kiss-happy frog named Ryan who will be represented by an X. He will leapfrog over numbers to give Princess Dot a big smackaroo and save the day. If you don't know what a smackaroo is, it's our next term. It's a kiss. Here's an example of how to use the Princess Dot strategy. When we're multiplying 2 7/4 times 9, remember this. We're going to check our general answer by rounding to the nearest whole number, which is the greatest place value position, and multiply our answers to estimate the product. In other words, 2 7/4 rounded to the greatest place value position is 3, and 3 times 9 is 27. So if our answer is a lot smaller or a lot bigger than 27, we're going to know we made a mistake with our decimal placement. Let's look and see how we multiplied those numbers using the Princess Dot strategy. I went ahead and wrote our numbers down, 2 7/4 times 9. Even though 9 is larger than 2 7/4, because 9 is larger than 2, I went ahead and put the number with the most digits on the top because that's the way you're the most comfortable multiplying. So let's go ahead and see how to multiply this. I'm going to pretend that decimal isn't even there. 9 times 4 is 36, carry my 3. 9 times 7 is 63, plus 3 is 66. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 6 is 24. Remember, you can touch point that out if that's a hard thing for you to add. 9 times 2 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now, as I'm looking at this, I put my comma there and I really shouldn't have. Let's take that off. Because now I'm going to use the Princess Dot strategy. Princess Dot is a princess who was cast under an evil spell, and Ryan is the frog that's going to save her. So Ryan is represented by an X, which we know symbolizes a kiss. So I'm going to put Ryan at the end of this number, and he's going to leapfrog right on over to her. He leapfrogs once across the 4 and once across the 7 to get to her. That way, he's trying to give her a big smackaroo. He had to leapfrog 2 places. Write that number in parentheses after you do that calculation. Then bring Ryan down to this bottom number. Is Princess Dot anywhere in this number? So he's not going to leapfrog at all here. He just sits here. But in all, he leapfrogged 2 places. So we're going to write that down here at the bottom. Here's Ryan, and here he goes leapfrogging 2 places to the left. 1, 2. That's where the decimal is in our answer. So our answer is 24 66/100. Now, this is essentially an algorithm for figuring this out. And tomorrow we're going to use some grid paper to show you why our answer is what it is and exactly what multiplying by decimals means. But remember, when we estimated our answer, we estimated 9 times 3 is 27. Our answer is 24 66/100. That's pretty close to 27. So Ryan gave our Princess Dot a big smackaroo. She's broken the spell and everybody's happy. Let's try some more. We're going to do some practice with Princess Dot. So here's your first problem. If it's hard for you, go back and watch that example again. Write down that problem in your journal so that you can go back and refer to it as you work the next problem. That's what thoughtful math learners do. Find the product 9 8/10 times 2. Pause it and push play when you're ready. Did you write 19 6/10? If we estimated 9 8/10 rounded to the greatest place value position is 10, and 10 times 2 is 20. So our answer of 19 6/10 is pretty close to what it should be. Let's see how we worked that problem using the Princess Dot strategy. Okay, so 9 8/10 times 2. I wrote the number with more digits on top just to make it easier to multiply. Well, multiply it just like there's no decimals in it at all. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry my 1. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Now we'll use our strategy. So here's Ryan, represented by a kiss, and Ryan's going to leapfrog over one number to get to Princess Dot to give her a kiss. So let's write a 1 right here. He doesn't have anywhere to jump here because she's not in this number. So he didn't leapfrog any places. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So in our final product, Ryan, our frog, is going to leapfrog one place to the left and give Princess Dot a big smackaroo. So our answer is 19 6/10. Now you can still use digital root checking to make sure your 19 6/10 is the correct answer. It's not going to tell you where your decimal should go. That's why we round to the greatest place value to estimate it. But it will tell you if the numbers 1, 9, and 6 are the correct numbers. So use that digital root checking strategy. This is tough math, but you'll know if you get it correct before you ever turn it in. Problem number 2. Find the product for 57 times 2 3/10. Pause and push play when you're ready. Did you write 131 1/10? Let's see how we did that one. So both of these numbers have 2 digits. If we wanted to estimate just to make sure we have an idea of what our answer is going to be, we can round 57 up to 60, and 2 rounded to the greatest place value position is just 2, and 2 times 60 is 120. So we're thinking that in the end our answer should be around 120. Now let's go ahead and multiply these just like we would multiply a regular number with no decimals. 3 times 7 is 21. Carry my 2. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Remember, X, O, kisses to go. Now we're ready to multiply by the number in the ones place. It looks like it would be in the tens place, but it has a decimal there. So 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Adam, 1 plus 0 is 1. 7 plus 4 is 11. 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. And 0 plus 1 is 1. So now we have to figure out where to put our decimal. And it's different than adding, isn't it? We don't just bring it straight down. Here's Ryan. There is nowhere to jump to. Princess Dot is nowhere around in this number, so he has nowhere to leapfrog to. But in this number, he's going to leapfrog one place value position to the left. So we'll write a little 1 there. You can write a 0 here if it helps you, but you don't have to. So in our answer, Ryan is going to leapfrog one place value position to the left. There's Princess Dot. He's going to give her a big smackaroo. Our answer is 131 1/10. 131 is pretty close to 120. It's much better than 13 if we had put our decimal here, or 1,311 if we had accidentally put our decimal here. Just remember, it's not like addition and subtraction. We don't bring the decimal straight down. We have to use the Princess Dot strategy. Princess Dot loves word problems, and so will you. This is a fun one. Princess Dot and Ryan will celebrate their love by going out to eat at Outback Steakhouse. Princess Dot has started eating steak instead of her favorite food, frog legs, which would be very inappropriate for her to eat now. In order to figure out how much tip to leave for their wonderful romantic meal, Ryan must multiply the total cost of the meal, which is $25, by 15/100ths, which is another way of saying 15%, to figure the tip. How much tip did Ryan leave for their waiter? How much did the meal cost Ryan, including tip? So there's two answers that you have to answer here in your journal. Go ahead and use the Princess Dot strategy to figure out the tip, and then figure out how you might find the total. Did you write $3.75 for tip? Did you write $28.75 for the meal and the tip? Let's see how we did that one. So here is our $25 right here, and here is our 15% or 15/100ths that we're going to multiply because that's the rate we usually pay for a tip. This is what you would do at a restaurant too if you were figuring a tip. I could have written the larger number on top and I could still multiply it correctly, but we're used to seeing the number with more digits on the top. So I'm going to do it that way. Let's multiply like there's no decimal there. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry my 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7, and 5 times 0 is 0. X, O, kisses to go. 2 times 5 is 10, carry your 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, and 2 times 0 is 0. Now I'm going to add those. 5 plus 0 is 5, 7 plus 0 is 7, 0 plus 3 is 3, and then 0 plus 0 is 0. We don't even need that there, do we? Now, let's use our Princess Dot strategy. Here's Ryan. He's going to jump 2 places to get to Princess Dot. And he's not going to leapfrog at all here because Princess Dot is nowhere to be found. So in all, he leapfrogs 2 places. Let's have him do that. There's Ryan. 1, 2. That shows us that they would leave $3.75 in tip. Obviously, you're not going to leave more than the bill in tip. You're just leaving 15 cents for every dollar that you paid for your meal. So if I know that I'm leaving $3.75 in tip, and I know that my total was $25, here's the second part of that problem. $25 plus, line up my decimals. I'm adding now. I'm not using the Princess Dot strategy. I'm adding, which means I bring my decimals straight down. 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 7 is 7. 5 plus 3 is 8. And 2 plus 0 is 2. $28.75 for the cost of their meal and their tip. It's time to challenge yourself. Princess Dot and Ryan are getting married and flying to Uganda to adopt 4 children. Dot is taking 19 bags with her that weigh 9 76/100ths pounds each. Ryan is taking 3 bags that weigh 234 7/10ths pounds each. How much does their luggage weigh in all? There's Juma, Sam, Abdul, and Salome down there at the bottom. Pretty cute, huh? I think they look like their dad. Explain your answer in your flip journal. Show all of your work. Again, I know you can do this on a calculator, but that takes all the fun out of it. Come back tomorrow and check your answer. Finishing up, go ahead and go back over your learning goals. Have you mastered all of them? Do you understand what it is that I want you to understand before you come back to class tomorrow? Give yourself a 1, a 2, or a 3 in your journal to show how your learning is progressing. Then write down any questions that you still have. Sweet smackaroos, you've completed lesson 7-2, multiplying a decimal number by a whole number. See you tomorrow.